Some bunnies with a Badooka dunk.
Way downtown. Bang! Bang!
Mama, there goes that man.
Welcome to A Tribe Called Swish. I'm your host, B Moore, with Jay Moore and Care from Ohio. We're in the three-man weave, as always, brought to you by Southern Bev Everest. Yo, I'm butchering the intro. We are rusty, yo. You know what? I'm a real one. I'm not even gonna edit it out. But as always, we're brought to you by Southern Edge Beverage Company. Like, subscribe, share. Don't be a hater your whole life. Fellas, how we doing?
Good, man. Good. He said, I ain't gonna edit nothing. Let it play.
Listen, man. That's right. We're keeping it real here, son. All right. So look, man, as always, y'all guys know we a basketball podcast. Hey, man, we are coming up on the best time of the year for the season right now. We passed the trade deadline, passed the All-Star break. Now the boys starting to really play for real. And we starting to really see who's the best in the East and who's the best in the West. So I'm gonna start with the West because the East is getting interesting. So we thought when we first started in the season, Thunder gonna run away with the West.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first couple months, they looked like that. And then we seen the new year turn. Well, the play-in tournament turn. They got their boots smoked by the Thunder like twice in a week. I mean, about the Spurs like twice in a week, and then the calendar turn, and they haven't looked so strong. Shea's been out of the lineup for a while, so the Spurs right now are only a game and a half out of first place. When November hit, we were talking about this same Thunder team getting 70 wins. So what do y'all think about the West, man? It's not as simple as we thought.
No, you're absolutely right, man. But you know what? It's so much is predicated on injury. You know, I know the Spurs are playing well, man. But you take Jay Will, you take Shea Glizzy out the lineup. That's insurmountable. You know what I mean? But the Spurs, they're budding. You know what I mean? And I think I was thinking the other day. I know Popovich wish he was leading the charge. You know what I mean? I'm glad his health has improved, but that the ego is still the ego. But I think I'm not really worried about the Thunder. I think they got enough time and enough games left to kind of catch their stride. They just need everyone healthy.
Yeah, I agree. The Spurs are second place right now. I'm excited for the team. I'm excited, like the competition is there. I think that All-Star break kind of sparks some more competition motivation for these young guys, especially with the young Bucks versus the OGs competition. So man, I'm excited. I'm not too worried about the Thunder. They're probably going to stay in the first place for probably the remainder of the season, to be honest with you. They're only 6-4 out of the last 10 games, but the Spurs will probably stay in second place. They're on a 10-0 run right now, so
Crazy.
Which is insane, especially after an All-Star break. It's
actually
hard
11 games in a row now.
11 games in a row,
yeah.
yeah. So but I think how the Thunder play, they're a really resilient team. Like if Wemby gets hurt for the Spurs, I think that's when the Spurs start to struggle a little bit more to win these games. And so I think everything's gonna be fine. I'm super surprised about the Rockets too, by the way. They're third place right now because they started off at the bottom at the beginning of the year. But yeah, man, I'm excited how the West is turning out.
I saw like a montage of how they've been playing physical with Wemby too. He's been getting beat up a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know he's tough. I think he has a lot of grit, but that's something to look at. You know what I mean? I think oftentimes people praise the 80s, 90s back then. These guys were dirty, you know what I mean? And sometimes guys, you still have a guy like that on your team now, you know what I mean? So I hopefully they don't injure Wemby, but just keep an eye on it.
But he got some dogs around him because Stephon Castle, listen,
It's tough.
Wemby is the big bold headline, but these games, Stephon Castle was doing it all, and I hope he'll get some All NBA love because look, scoring, defense, everything. Like he is to me, he's more valuable to that team than De'Aaron Fox. Like and listen, I'm not saying, and that's not to put down De'Aaron Fox or anything, but when I watch their games, Castle is the one that's making the key plays, making the key stops, doing anything. I think they're getting minutes from Luke Cornett when Wemby is out. Luke Cornett's getting them good minutes. I mean, Keldon Johnson is swallowed his ego, coming off the bench. Like, I think that's the thing with the Spurs team that makes them interesting. Like, yes, you have this alien on your team, and great, he's a freak show just doing crazy stuff. But when you just look at the pieces around him and how they've constructed this team,
Mhm.
Castle, Fox, Cornett, Keldon Johnson, Champagne, that
Julian.
who's going to
Yeah.
get we're right there at the end of the season. Wemby's going to get him paid because he's going to have open threes all
Yeah.
year. Dude's about to get paid.
Yeah.
Listen, man, he just sit in the corner. That's his game.
Yeah.
He just sit in the corner, and he hitting 3-pointers. So like I think they said like in the last 4 games he's shooting like 60% from 3. Like, yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah, he's doing. But below the top 2, y'all saw Ant last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So,
He said, "This is what I do."
So for those who didn't see it, one play down, Ant got double team. Coach Chris Finch is telling him, pass the ball. He did not pass the ball, turn the ball over. Next possession, pretty much the same thing happened. Game on the line, double team, money. And then he tells
All's forgotten.
yeah, he tells his coach, and I quote, "I am not a pass the ball N-word." So,
Wow. It's
Dog.
funny. He has like all the makings to kind of be just a thing, you know what I mean? And man is that guy. But I really love, man. He works hard. You know, he's worked hard, and his game is really developing. I remember we were talking about. I wish he would have got his running mate in Ja or LaMelo or just somebody. You know what I mean? But Ant-Man is that guy, man. And also we almost kind of underrate how he's not 6'6". You know what I mean? But he plays so big. You know what I mean? You would think he's a massive guy. And I saw the clip of him and Jalen Brunson kind of like side by side. I was like, dang, man, they like almost the same height. But his presence is just so much greater, you know?
yeah.
So I'm with you on that.
Yeah, man. I'm excited for Ant. He reminds me of like a Kobe-esque kind of attitude and player. And his like athleticism is insane. And
Mhm.
so like I hope in my opinion, he's the face of the league. And he's doing it off of a small market team as well. And like let's just say hypothetically he doesn't, decide to stay with the Timberwolves for his whole career. If he does the same thing he's doing with a big market team, can you imagine the impact and the attention that team's gonna get?
Yeah.
Right.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think Ant, if his career stay the same, I think Ant is like Giannis. I don't want to see them in a big city. I think those personalities need to be in these small because they don't need the big lights because they have big personality. They don't need it.
Mhm.
Like Ant doesn't need New York. He doesn't need LA. He can be him anywhere, and I think that's why I like those are there's a few places where I think they need to be in bigger markets, but those type of personalities, I liked him there.
No, that's an excellent point. But in the end, he wants to win. Don't just keep me bottled in and I'm not competing for a championship. You
Right.
got to maximize that window. But I think that's an excellent point. But you got to bring the talent there. You got to bring him a running
Gotta figure
mate.
that out. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
So on the other end of the spectrum, the Lakers. Hey man, they pretty much been rolling out the wheelchair for LeBron. Like they've pretty much said every which way that he is not going to return, and they're kind of, I mean, they've done everything but give him a wheelchair. I mean, the way they talk about him, the way they treat him, and look, we've argued about LeBron on this podcast I feel like weekly, but the way they're pushing him out the door feels very weird, especially because we're in the middle of a season. So I don't understand what's happening with the Lakers.
What you got, J Money?
LeBron ain't it anymore, man. Just tell him to hang up the shoes, man. You're done. And, I think should I say it? Washed. That's how I feel.
We're going wild.
And I just feel like just sit down just a little bit, man. Like I feel like probably if I'm JJ, I'm probably putting him on a load management like situation right now. Because I think and Brian Windhorst said it, and I and I looked at the tape. I replayed some of the games that the Lakers play. When all three of them play together, they're not winning that many
Yeah.
games. And but if one is out or two people are out, then they're starting to win more. Like if Austin Reeves and LeBron is out and it's just Luca, they're winning games. And Luca's averaging a triple double. Again, if Luca's out and LeBron's out, Austin Reeves is stepping up to the plate and dropping 30 or 40. And if Luca and Austin is out, LeBron's not, they're winning, but they're not winning by a large margin, right? Like it's
And probably
his
because
imp-
they don't know how to play defense, but that's another thing.
right, yes, absolutely. And then you got a big man that's saying that he's not no Clint Capella. So like
Which he is pretty much.
yeah. But I'm just saying, like, they gotta start planning to move past Braun because he's not what he was a year or two ago. Or his prime is done. That's how I feel.
hmm I mean, yeah, that's tough, Jay Money. I hear the critique. I hear the critique. I think it's interesting to think about that. Like Luca is Luca, right? But he's a terrible defender.
Yeah.
Terrible defender. And I think when you start really kind of not necessarily nitpicking, but pointing out teams' flaws, all roads don't lead to LeBron James. Your last statement was centered around Aiton. A big man that's just not the presence we thought he'd be.
Right.
Luca's defense is just laughable. And AR has been in and out the lineup. You know what I mean? I think you bring a good point that sometimes they do play well when one is out, but it's interesting. And if LeBron is the reason why you guys aren't doing your thing, then buy him out, let him go. But you will notice where he lands next season, he's gonna
Mhm.
still be that guy. But the other funny thing is be more at the shop, and I won't name the guy, but he's not a LeBron supporter. I'll frame it that way. Right. And he was talking. He's like, "Oh, man, you go this. When the last time he had a chase down block?" We was like, yesterday, you know. So between the chase down block, between the triple double, he's still playing at a really high level, Jay Moore. So to call him washed is truly, truly unfair. Kobe Bryant in his last season, he was washed. LeBron James in year 23 is still a top 20 player. Come
Okay.
on.
So
I tried to rage bait you a little bit. You
no,
didn't
and
take
for
it.
the youngins who might be watching this, to give context, Kobe Bryant was also hurt a lot, and LeBron is when it comes to when it comes, just for context. But look, this is probably LeBron's worst season since probably his rookie year. I mean, he's
Mhm.
shooting 49% from the field, 30% from three-point line, like 75% from the free throw line. I mean, but look, he's 50 years old, right? So that's to be like, I mean, I'm being fair, like that's to be expected. But this Lakers team, and I agree with you, Kev, is not placed at the foot of LeBron because this team is not playing winning basketball. Even if your stars shots aren't falling, you have to stop somebody. Like
Mhm.
I believe us three plus my 9-year-old daughter and bring somebody else off the street. You give us 15 minutes with that team, we can get at least 2 buckets because
Oh
they
yeah.
don't know how to play defense. That they are that bad that strangers, over the hill athletes, former athletes, and a 10-year-old can come off the street and get 2 buckets on professional players because they don't know how to play defense. Like I've seen Tyrese Maxey run circles through them. Like I've
Mhm.
seen like that this team is just not well constructed. And the fact that we're gonna end up having the Suns can possibly overtake them because they're only 2 games back, and we left that Suns team for dead at the beginning of the season. And
Yeah.
like I think that's the weirdest thing about this Lakers team is that was like just nothing seems right.
Yeah. And I agree. I don't know. I feel like we put a lot of blame on LeBron because of who he is. Like, and it's not like, we could bash LeBron, but it's also like his shadow, like the light overtakes the shadow by a lot of his career, right? Like he's a very, very highly accomplished and well accomplished athlete. Like if he were to get paid just off of accomplishments, he'd be set for life, I feel like.
Hmm.
And that's all respect to him. I think we just put a lot of attention on him because of how his career path has gone, right? Right now he averages what, 21, 5, and 7. For 40 years old,
That's
that's not
good.
bad. That's not
Yes,
bad at
sir.
all. I'm not
Yeah.
mad at it. Now, the thing is, I don't want to say it's a LaMelo s situation to where like his play style is not surmounting to wins that much anymore. But
Because the
as be
Hornets are
more,
winning, baby.
like,
Yeah.
but like, but like at the same time, be more said it already. Like the team's not well constructed. We have a big man that doesn't want to play like a big man. We got a point guard that doesn't play defense that well, but we're also not surrounding him around strong defensive players. And probably the second strongest defensive player that they have is Marcus Smart, and
Who's
they're
also
not
1,000 years old.
right. And so like next year, like we can't blame JJ Redick because he got he's training toddlers how to play basketball again. And so like they're gonna have to rebuild all over again, or make, as you said, do a trade package and see what they can get for some younger talent and some stronger and faster talent that can also play some defense as well.
True.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take it over to the East, because the East, the East has gotten interesting. And
Mm.
listen, I'm gonna be the first to say it. It's always F Joe Missoula over here. All right, always. But what I will
The
say though is
disrespect.
that he's got them at 38 and 20 and in second
Mhm.
place. I will give him respect for that.
Yeah.
And he's got Jalen Brown in the MVP race. And for some reason, because Jason Tatum can't stand for the Celtics to be successful without him, he's trying to come back, which I think is a terrible idea.
Terrible.
I think it's gonna shorten his career if he pushes too hard. But the Pistons, the number one team, we thought they were gonna take a leap. We didn't know it was gonna be like this. The Knicks are being the Knicks. Some weeks they look great, some weeks they look terrible. But they're in the hunt. Cleveland has gotten together. They're the number 4 seed right now. And then the East middle of the pack is interesting because Philly is a 6th seed,
Yeah.
but I think they're better than their seed. Like I think in the playoffs, I think Philly can scare some teams. I don't know if they can win
Yeah.
a round, but they're gonna they're gonna put some fear in these teams in the East. So how do y'all see the East shaking out right now?
I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked, Greenmore. I think you summed it up really well, my brother. I think my Cavs though, James Harden makes such a difference, and I think Kendrick Perkins, I think his commentary sometimes is just so laughable, but I think he nailed it he got it on the nail, and he said James Harden has been one of the best facilitators this last decade, man. I think
Yeah.
he's really helped us weaponize what we have because we have so many guys that are very statuesque. They're just catch and shoot from Dean Wade to Merrill. You don't have everyone's not Donovan, but having James Harden, he just makes it so much easier for guys to kind of just do what they do best. Even Jared Allen is playing inspired ball. Donovan
Yeah.
Mitchell can just be dynamic. He's never played with someone like a James Harden. Darius Garland, who? Who is that? You know what I mean? Been wanting to get him up out of there. He's not the answer. But I think my Cavs, when it comes down to it, I think the Eastern Conference Finals will be the Cleveland Cavaliers against the Detroit Pistons.
I'm not mad about it. I feel
That's a
slighted with
great pick.
yeah, I'm not mad about it. Feel slighted though, because you didn't, throw the Celtics in there, but whatever. But no, I'm not mad about those picks. I would love. You can't go wrong with any of these teams, the top 5 teams, I'll say, in the conference finals. To be honest with you, I'm surprised no one has mentioned the Raptors though. I'm a little surprised, but at the 34 and
Yeah.
25, they're 5-5 in the last 10 games.
Mhm.
They missed a major. What thing was a game-winning shot? I think it was. It wasn't last time. Maybe 2 days ago.
Mhm.
But they're an exciting team to watch this year as well. Definitely a playoff team. I'm excited
Mhm.
to see how this team carries themselves into the playoffs
Mhm.
because their head coach has never been into a playoff game before.
Mm.
Mhm.
it's been a while since Brandon Ingram has maybe been involved into a playoff game.
Yeah.
I think the I don't think anyone else, Scotty, I don't, Scotty, we don't know how he'll perform in a playoff game. So
Mhm.
I'm excited to see how this team moves forward in the playoffs and how far they'll get, or if they will get far. If they do, they're gonna have to go against the Knicks and the Pistons as a potential matchup later on. But
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is scary. That's BTA right there. But,
yeah.
but
You know what?
um yeah,
I'm
go
glad you
ahead.
mentioned. I'm glad you mentioned the Raptors because it's kind of like when we talk about celebrity couples, we almost forget about Brandon Ingram and what's her name,
Glorilla.
Glorilla,
Really, yeah,
and
that's
it's
Yeah.
like
right.
he's playing
Curving
inspired
them,
ball.
curving.
Bi been healthy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
happy. So so I'm
She
glad. I'm
be at
glad you
all the
mentioned that.
games too.
she do.
Right?
Yeah,
She does. She
she
does. She
Yeah.
does for real.
does.
He be
That's
hooping like
cool.
all
So,
the like a Jordan Poole hooper out there.
Right.
so what do y'all think about the Pistons? I mean, the Pistons are 43-14, right?
Yeah.
And there is nothing like I want to believe in them. I
Mhm.
want to believe that they're
Mhm.
going to be last year's Thunder. That this is their year to take that leap and do it. But I can't bring myself to do that but they have everything. They have
Yeah.
an MVP candidate. They have a
Mhm.
real big man who does
Mhm.
big man things.
Yeah.
They have good wings. They play
Yeah.
defense.
Mhm.
There is nothing to not like about them. But
Mhm.
when but when I look across at the West, I'm just like, can they beat anybody in the West? That I'm just not sure. But I also see Cade can seem to drop 40 and 12 when he wants to. So I don't know,
That
man. What do y'all
that's
think?
yeah. That's a good point, man. I think the how can you slow down the engine? Cade is just phenomenal, man. He's 6'7". He can post you, take up the dribble. He plays with dog. He got grit. How can I slow him down? It just to your point, it just kind of comes down to matchups. I know the West is stacked, but I'm going through the rosters and I'm like, who can you put on him to slow him down? I think you slow him down, you slow the team down, but
Mhm.
I just don't know what teams like you said, for example, if they play the Thunder, you can throw Dort after him. There's so many bodies you can disrupt that. You're not gonna just take him away. The key is just can you disrupt? And I don't know how many rosters, even my Cavs. I don't know if we have the player like we don't have Okoro, so that's tough to slow that
True.
machine down.
Because how he plays is he can be James Harden kind of, and when I say that is because he can score and
Yeah,
distribute.
and he can
And
pass. Yeah,
normally you don't really see that. Like Harden
no,
was one of those few ones who does
yeah,
both. Even like your top scorers don't really get down like that. You don't see
yeah,
a top 5 scorer and a top 5 assist person like that. So I think
yeah.
Mhm.
that's
Good
what kind of
point.
makes him so unique. Is like you throw bodies, but he's like, all right, cool. I'll just get 15 assists and
Right,
15
right.
points and deal with that. Go
Yeah,
ahead, Jay.
good
You want to
point.
say something?
Yeah, they're also a physical team, and I think that's what's part of this game that's been missing a lot. Like the Spurs aren't really a physical team, but the Pistons, because of like their gritty, their culture is grit, right? So
Mhm.
like they are gonna give these guys the work. They can also throw multiple matchups at Wimby if they or Isaiah
Mm,
Hartenstein down in the paint or Chet. Really,
Yeah.
honestly, they're just like they're also a well built like physical team too. Like if you put Jalen Duren against Chet Holmgren, I'm taking that matchup all day.
Food.
That's
yeah.
that.
No,
So I like the matchup. I'm
mhm.
over physicality with the physicality that the Pistons bring. I'm going Detroit all day.
Hey, have y'all
And the,
seen? Hey, real quick, have y'all seen Jalen Duren's 8th grade mixtape?
No.
mm-mm.
Google it. Jalen,
Wow.
Jalen, he was bigger than everybody and dunking on people. Like
Also
it
Oh
Zion
is
man,
Williamson.
insane. Like
I gotta
he
see.
almost looks like the way he looks now. Just picture a younger face. It was that. It was that insane. Go
Oh my
ahead.
goodness. I mean, that's that's funny, man. But that's why they call him a man child. But
Yep.
oh, it's tough, man. I just think, dang. I don't know if like if you were able to kind of like tweak some of the rosters, but like
Mhm.
the trade day, I'm almost forgetting the trade deadline is passed. So I
Yeah.
don't
Mhm.
know. I don't know. I think like you said, man, Detroit is very formidable. And you got wild man Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah,
Yeah, he coming
He's
man.
back
just
from his
wild. Earlier I talked about dirty players, and I'm not saying he's dirty, but he's that type of guy,
He
man.
likes
His
to fight.
physique, you know, you could send him on a kamikaze mission. He just seems like that type of guy, you know. So, but that's in their favor. You know, you need somebody
is.
like that.
Yeah.
Is now no segment would be complete when we talk about the East if I don't talk about my Hornets, who I adopted this season as my secondary team while I'm on my Joe Mazzulla strike. Hey man, listen, they're 29-31. They've got the 10 seed, so they're gonna, if they keep this up, they'll end up in the play-in. Now I'm not saying they're gonna make a run in the playoffs, but what I am saying is that they're building something. Like this is the first time we've had hope in this franchise since Larry Johnson, right? Larry Johnson, Alonzo Mourning, right? Like that's how long ago. That's how long it's been. Like this,
Jesus.
Steph Daddy, Dale Curry.
Yeah, exactly. Like that. It's been that long. Glenn Rice. It's been that long since we've had any type of just hope in this franchise. Series of bad draft picks. You know, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. Just bad picks.
Carolina.
And their last few ones, Melo, Brandon Miller, working out, Con Knipple, all-time rookie leading 3-point shooter now. All of it is coming together. And listen, they're going to be fun to watch as the stretch goes on, because the thing that we complained about with them is like they put up these great numbers, but can they play winning basketball? Right. And they've been figuring that out. And I think that's been one of the biggest improvements that I've seen.
Yeah.
I feel like they've been figuring it out also because they've been kind of playing LaMelo Ball in and out of rotation. Like trying to figuring out like where should he start this game based off momentum, or does it feel like it might be a slow start, bring him off the bench, provide a little bit more excitement and productivity for the Hornets to kind of get them over maybe a possible dry spell. So I feel like you're right. They are definitely figuring it out. I think it contributes to the highest impact player with Melo coming off the bench and figuring out where he fits in this grand scheme of things.
Yeah. They've been experimenting with the lineup, and also what I like, Brandon Miller's not being afraid to take over. Like he is big. This is his third year, I think. Second year. Second year. So he's figuring it out in real time, and it's fun to watch. That they are definitely a fun team.
I want to see Melo play playoff basketball. Let's see.
Yeah.
Man, I would like to see them get a matchup against like the Heat or somebody like that. I think that a nice warm-up game. I think Melo showing out against like a Tyler Hero in a play-in matchup, that will go miles for that franchise of just that'll be good. That'll be good TV. All right, so we're gonna go to what our last topic is going to be, the Hawks. So the Hawks are trying to get people in the stands, and there are a few Atlanta institutions that are more known than the Atlanta Hawks and Magic City Strip Club. So these two places have decided to have a partnership and have a Magic City promo night at the Hawks.
That's funny.
Tell me if this was on your 2026 bingo card for a strip club and an NBA team to have a promotional night together.
Wow, right? Wow.
All I gotta say is bring in Lou Will. That's all I gotta say.
Lemon Pepper Lou.
Yeah.
It's funny when you showed me that, man. My first thought is go right back to Lemon Pepper Lou. Is like, man, when he was in the bubble, them wings must be good. They gotta be good. They gotta be good. I gotta try some too. They gotta be. I said, wow, man. But it's business, it's crafty, it's marketing, it's all those things. And why not? It probably didn't cost you anything per se. I'm sure you're just kind of trying to take advantage. They might stumble across something, and the Hawks, they're a bad team, but it's a way to get some notoriety. But so I'm with it.
Yeah,
so
man,
this is
I like
you got nothing.
Do what you gotta do. That's all I'm gonna say.
So this promo has shown me, how they always say there are two Americas. It's just, this has been I look at the discussion online, this is just a two Americas thing. You have people who don't understand Magic City, and you have people who do. And it's like, it's, if I'm not sure if you two have ever taken a pilgrimage to Magic City before, but if you ever get a chance to, it's one of those things that you should definitely experience. It's unlike anything you've ever seen before.
Wow.
The rap videos aren't lying. It's very similar to that. But you should absolutely take a pilgrimage. I'm going to call it a pilgrimage. It's almost a rite of passage if you go to Atlanta to visit Magic City. But it's when you're for Atlanta, that is one of the landmarks. There is Martin Luther King's house, Magic City. I mean, it's just one of those things, and if you understand Atlanta, you understand that's like Lou Williams isn't lying. Like, people do legitimately go to Magic City just to eat. Like, listen, Atlanta's its own place, and people always say like Atlanta's not a real place because they do things weird. Like, Waffle House is very elevated eating for them, and they will go eat food at a strip club. Don't get it, but it's a very Atlanta thing.
I will be making that pilgrimage. You got to do my research, that way I can kind of be bold about when I talk about the topic,
All right. So with that said, we're gonna wrap this up with final thoughts. Kev, let's have you go first.
Yes, sir. OMG. The 50 Cent finally bark up the wrong tree. It looked like the Tip Harris family, they're responding, right? And I just hope it just leads to just lyricism and just creativity. I don't think 50 Cent will respond with a track, but it's cool to see T.I.'s, I think it's Damani. I heard his song just kind of right before we jumped on, the Miss Jackson flip. I love that artistry. I feel like I'm B-more right now. I had to reference hip hop, but it was burning inside B-more, so I had to get it out. Man, but all in all, I think the sporting world, it's coming down to it, and I think we're in for a treat. I think the NBA, it's when all the injuries are like out of the way and everyone is back, I think we'll see some good basketball, and whoever wins it wins it. But I'm hoping my Cavs do our thing. You know what I mean? James Harden is the difference maker, so I'm excited about it, fellas.
J Money, what you got?
Man, not too much, but I'm excited for the rest of the second half of the season's coming to. The only thing I need to say is Stephen A just need to keep his mouth off of LeBron James for the remainder of his life. Just saw another article about how granted he gave him credit of if LeBron didn't have the type of career that he have, we wouldn't have much to talk about, which is great. But then he had to throw in that he doesn't like him. So, dear Stephen A, please shut up and talk about somebody else on a consistent basis. That would be so fantastic. I feel like it would do wonders for your life. It will bring you more peace if you just stop talking about LeBron. Okay. There will never be another LeBron. There will never be another player that would have a all-time. I think it's all-time scoring record now because he's still playing. Am I right, fellas? He's leading number one on that list right now?
Yep,
That's the right list. So we'll never have another player like LeBron. And obviously we contribute all to this LeBron to Kobe and MJ and Curry. Yes, we have legends that we build our history and culture off of. We give those guys credit. Please give LeBron his credit and his flowers too. Okay? All right. Amen. Thank you.
All right.
Well said.
My man.
So since Kev want to talk about music, I was going to mention boxing, but I'm not going to go there. Maybe for another time. But the NBA, this year's NBA MVP race is a sham because of the NBA's rules of games played. Now, look, I'm in agreement. These players need to play, and we need to figure out a way to get them to play more. I was not a fan of load management because it didn't really work. Cool. But what's going to happen is whoever wins MVP this year is going to be kind of a sham because right now, Jokic, he's already missed too many games. He can't qualify. Wemby, I think he can only miss like 5 more games to the end of the year, or he will lose qualification. Shea can only miss, I think, 6 more games now, or he's going to lose it. So the only ones who are really, it's really Cade. It's really going to end up Cade and Jaylen Brown. They're going to end up being the top 2 contenders. I mean, again, people have to stay healthy. Like Shea has to like not miss a game pretty much. The same with Wemby for the rest of the season, which with the way the season goes, who knows, as a crapshoot. But that's where we're at right now. So I don't want whoever wins the MVP to always have an asterisk. I don't want some people to go back a few years like, oh, well, Jokic missed 20 games. He averaged a triple-double. He carried the Nuggets to a 3 seed, and he was an MVP. Because on any other season, if he did that, he would be MVP. I mean, we know Jokic is the best player in the game. But like what happened with LeBron and MJ, voters get fatigued. Then normally you're going to move off that same player. You're not going to give that person the same MVP every year. But now with these rules of games played, you're not even letting the voters have that chance anymore. You're taking that from them because of this games played thing. So we have a real MVP race. It's a 4-way MVP race right now with Shea, Jaylen, Cade, and Wemby. But it's probably going to come down to Cade and Jaylen Brown because they've been the most healthy this season. And that sucks. And I think that's bad for basketball. And it's bad for history also, because we're going to look back and we want to talk about these players being the best and not being the best just because these players got injured, but just overall being the best. So that was kind of my final thoughts. I want the awards to be more about how the actual played than, okay, you won it on a technicality. And Cade and Jaylen Brown are playing way too well this season for them to win an award on a technicality. I think they should be able to fairly earn it, and we should be able to have that discussion. So,
Good point.
All right, y'all. So with that said, this is our show for this week. This is B Moore, J Money, Kid from Ohio. We out, y'all. Peace.